there, my name is Elaine and I'm here for Move Wellness. And I'm here to share with you today a movement vitamins video with some exercises that will nourish your body and help you get prepared to do whatever it is you love all day long. So we're going to start sitting up. I want to make sure you're moving with permission from your doctor. Don't do anything that hurts. And if you feel any pain or strain, just stop. You can reach out to us anytime with questions to help you understand what it is we're trying to share with you, but really just enjoy moving and breathing with me. So we'll start with your shoulders. And you're going to connect. Inhale and exhale. And as you're really moving your shoulders around, letting the sense of massage of the muscles and bones gliding. Maybe you feel it in the neck, maybe in the shoulders. And then after you do a few of these, let's let your elbows lead. And you're connecting the movement to your breath. These are really meant to be that yawning quality, keeping that sort of massaging, yawning feeling through all the tissues of the body to get everything moving in an organic way. And then arm circles. And here your shoulder blades are gliding across your rib cage. And you're reaching through the whole arm and the fingers. You have little beams of light shining out each finger. And you might feel a little fatigue if you haven't done this in a while, or if you've been on a computer or reading, maybe in some Zoom meetings. There you go. Good. And from here, let's go on to all fours. And in this position, if you're not comfortable on all fours, maybe you have knee issues or it's not easy to get down on the floor, you can go down, you can lean over a stool or a chair or even your kitchen counter. Try to get a straight line, ears, shoulders, and hips lined up. If wherever you are, give a little drag to your hands so you feel like you're pulling your hands towards your knees, and you'll feel your shoulder blades really connect to your rib cage. Your tailbone is reaching long. Don't tuck your tail yet. And your head is up on your spine. Quite often we're heavy in the head. And just push away from the mat so you have that nice active spine. It's just a really great position to be in, even if you're standing here. So take a breath in. And on your exhale, lift the belly to lift the hips into your angry Halloween cat stretch. And then articulate right back to neutral. And you're going to move and breathe, lifting the belly to lift the hips. And then come right back to neutral. And you're trying to move one vertebra at a time. Now, if you have osteoporosis or osteopenia, this isn't necessarily contraindicated, but you might think about really stretching through the low back and not so much in the upper back. And that's true too if you've been told you have kyphosis. And so the low back can get a nice stretch. You can push out of your hands and knees. You can stay there for a couple of breaths and inhale into the back of the body as you push your hands and knees away from the mat. And then come right back to neutral here. Finding that nice long line in your spine. Now let's do some rotation of the upper back. So we're going to let one arm float out to the side. This is not easy. You can stay here for a few breaths if you want to turn your abdominal muscles on and challenge your core. And then reach under the opposite arm with your hand. And then swoop down and around, leverage away from the floor to lift the chest. And just move and breathe here. And the goal is to be moving through the upper body, the thoracic spine. And so keep the weight even between both knees so you're not shifting and rotating through the lower spine. It's not easy, but it feels really nice. And then let your hand come down. The other hand floats out to the side. Might feel a little different here. Trying to get the weight even between the 3 points on the floor. And you're going to reach under and push down to lift up. And reach under and push down to lift up. And 2 more, reach under and push down to lift up. And 1 more. And really lift the sternum and the eyes, and then come back to neutral. Feels nice to go into a shell stretch here. You can tuck your tail a little and sit back as far as it's comfortable. You don't have to be really low if you can't get there, but really starting to open up that low back and stretch the front of your thighs here is a nice idea. You can also curl your tailbone if you're standing and get a nice stretch through your low back. So from here, we'll go onto your back. There's a couple of things I'd like to do here. And really, these can be done seated. They would be modified a little bit, though. So I'm going to speak as if you're lying on the floor with me. And you want to be on a pretty firm surface. You can try to do some of these in a bed, but really on the floor is the best. So you're breathing and releasing your body into the mat here. What I want you to notice is where your pelvis is on the mat and where your bottom rib is, bottom ribs. So I want you to release the weight of the body into the floor, and where those bones are in the pelvis, you want to try to hug your abdominals in to those bones on the mat. It's just the way I help people connect to their deep abdominal muscles. And when you have that nice little taut feeling in the low belly, you feel like a little pull across the low belly, you want to, we're going to do a hip release. It's a nice stretch of the hip, but you imagine you have a cup of tea on your low belly and your hips don't rotate, which means that sense of where the bones are, you're not letting your hips twist in the back. So we're going to move and breathe through the legs without letting the bones of the pelvis rock side to side. And you need your breath here. So inhale and exhale. And I promise this is an exercise that if you practice it every day, like you take your movement vitamins, you're going to start to feel it more and more. It feels really, really wonderful to me now, like that first morning yawn, but it took a while. And then switch directions and let your knee open to the side and pull your leg up with those abdominals without letting your pelvis rock. So this is also a really great challenge for your abs to stabilize your pelvis against the movement of your legs, which is why we want a strong core anyways. So other side, no tipping, inhale and exhale. 4 times in each direction. Switch directions. And then come right up. Both your feet are right under your knees, not tucked in too closely, but just a comfortable distance away from your pelvis. And from here, we're going to do our hip rolls, similar to a bridging exercise. So I want you to start by pushing your heels down into the mat and feel how your glutes and hamstrings activate. You're going to curl your tailbone and lift your hips right up off the mat. You take a breath in, and then on your exhale, you roll right down. 1 vertebra at a time, spreading that low back wide into the mat. Do that a few times. Push the heels to initiate the curl, and you want to really feel like your glutes are doing all the work. Don't let your ribs pop out. Let them fall into the body as your glutes are working, and then roll right down. 2 more. And lift and roll down. And then last one, And if you decide that you like this video and you do it every day, which I hope you do, if you do, let me know. But if you want to challenge yourself a little more, you can start to add some leg lifts here. Now, I'm working like crazy here and trying not to let my hips twist. So it's a lot of load on the back chain, but it's oh so good for you. Helps you with balance, staying strong in the pelvis, your low back, hips, and then roll right down. So now we'll do a little bit of a core challenge. You're going to draw those abdominals in and draw your ribs closer to your hips. So you really want to feel like you're taking your abdominals and pulling them toward each other from the sides, top to bottom, and all around the side. So everything's connecting right in the deep center of your belly. And you're going to keep them there and keep the point of contact on the back of the body. Keep your shoulders wide and lift one leg and set it down. That should be pretty easy. Use your exhale to do it. That will help. And set it down. And now lift one leg, and then don't let that pelvis move. Hold everything in and lift the other leg. And you can do that a few times. And then let's add some toe taps. Now don't let that low back arch, and keep your shoulders wide. And it's nice to feel the tops of your armpits pressing into the mat. I know it sounds really crazy, but just try it. You'll know what I'm talking about. So I'm working like crazy. My belly is shaking, pulling my abs in. And make sure you're not dropping your foot down right underneath you. You have to give it a little reach. And you might work up to this, or this might feel like a nice challenge for you. Whatever works best for you. We're going to meet your body right where it is today. That's our goal. And then notice how this changes when you try it tomorrow. I'm trying to distract you from the fact that we're doing a lot of them. Go ahead and hug your knees into your chest now and rock side to side. And let's go onto our bellies. We're going to be in a prone position. And here, I'd like to have you rest your forehead on your fingertips. And if your feet can be hip width apart, but what I want you to do is just release your whole body into the mat and then reach through your legs. So you feel your kneecaps gliding up your thighs. Your kneecaps are kind of lifting off the mat. Your glutes are turned on. Now hollow those abs again. Pull everything right into that deep center. Now you're working against gravity, so it's a little harder. And then on an exhale, press down and lift your upper body off the mat. Don't arch anything. Look straight down like a dart. Now really feel your back of your body's engaged. Your abs are pulling in. Your shoulders are down your back. And all you did was lift your head and then come down. And you can try that exhale to lift. Press your toes into the mat a bit. That's going to help you engage the lower body. And then come down. And try that 3 or 4 times. And then you can go ahead and add lifting the upper body, the arms with the head, and come down. And this, I can't underestimate how important this is. As we age, keeping our upper back extensors strong will help us not become more kyphotic or have a more pronounced curve in our thoracic spine. It'll help keep our back strong. But make sure you're really keeping your abdominals engaged so that you're using your upper back extensors. Your shoulder blades can glide together a bit. And one more. And then from here, hands by your shoulders, we're going to do a little bit, another lift. The same thing you just did into the dart. This time I want you to lift your chest up like you're dragging yourself forward. If I was just on this wood floor, I could pull myself a bit. So you feel your arms are pulling down, trying to drag you forward. Your abs are still connected, your legs are strong. And come down, and this is going to help keep that chest open and get those upper back extensors nice and active. And down, and one more. up, and down. Good. From here, let's go onto our side. And for the side hip, we're going to imagine as you're lying on this line that I line up with the back of my mat. So ears, shoulders, hips, knees, and feet are all in one line. Sometimes we have our legs piked forward for safety. If you feel wibble wobbly, go ahead and bend that bottom knee, but try to get that top leg really reaching right off your body so your hips are open in front. You're going to hike your bottom hip up towards your bottom armpit, and that will help you stay in a neutral alignment here. We're just going to lift and lower a bit. This helps keep that the stabilizers on the outside of your hip active, but we don't want your waist to move. We're using your core here to stabilize the pelvis against the movement of the leg. And if we just turn on these muscles, invite them to participate, warm them up for your day, then there's a better chance that they'll stay nice and active to keep you supported all day long. Good. So there's more we can do here, but also just know that you can do this, the full exercises with both legs long, your butt's turned on. I'm a little wibble wobbly, so you can use your kickstand in front to do that same exercise. But let's go ahead and do the other side. And you're going to just lie in one long line, and your butt's turned on, and your hip is hiking up to your armpit, glutes on, and you're going to point lift and flex lower. Keep everything connected using your breath, making sure that the front of your hip is open and you're trying to feel the activation in the back of the body. Again, it's harder to do than it looks like it should be when you do it right. Good. All right, so from there, 2 more. I want you to lie on your back, and we're going to let our arms be out in a T, and you can let your knees just rock side to side. This is one of my favorite ways to start class or end class, to help our femurs move in the pelvis, to help stretch out the low back, and it just feels so nice. So from here, you can let your knees rock to one side, your eyes go to the other. And you feel your hands can reach away from each other. You're trying to keep both shoulders on the mat. And then use your abdominals to pull your knees up and go to the other side. Now don't work through pain. If this hurts at all, just make a smaller range of motion, or maybe it's not the right exercise for you today. But we always ask ourselves why. Why? What's out of alignment that might make that uncomfortable? So maybe do some digging yourself or let us know, and we're happy to help. And so to finish, I want you to sit up again, and we're just going to stretch from side to side. So sit up nice and tall. Let's take one arm up, and you're just going to reach it over. Now, this is a nice, easy stretch. I feel a nice opening across my ribs and up through my shoulder. But what I want you to think about is really lifting all of your abdominals up as you reach over. Yep, and reach that hip down as you reach over. And make sure you stay, it's like your trunk is in a toaster here. And you really want to feel like you're not curling forward, because we want all of this to stay nice and open. Let's do the other side. And hip sinks down, and you lift everything up and over. It's nice to get a little opposing stretch if you push into the floor. And let's just easy breezy go up and over. One more like that. And then come all the way down. Let's take both arms up. And last one. And just take a second to check in with your body and see how you feel. Maybe set an intention for your day. But if nothing else, be really grateful that you took care of yourself and got down and did this movement vitamin video with me. Thanks so much. Have a great day.